over.
What's going on, guys? And we're back with the Davis Sports Feud, and I got my buddy Corey Sparks here.
Crossed up, definitely pushed by Paul George, but everything's a push these days.
I just don't think this offense is going to work very well, especially under a defensive coach like Robert.
But I would still probably take like Najee Harris over one of the wide receivers.
What's up, guys? This is the Davis Sports Feud. I am in a different place than normal. What the hell happened here? Hold on here. I gotta fix that shit. What the hell? No, that's there. There we go. That's better.
I mean, to be fair, I could probably get used to that. Like,
I mean, one of these days we're gonna put T-Bone on the top shelf, and it's gonna be like,
And then I'm gonna go like this, and then this. I got two ways to point.
Everyone knows T-Bone will always be a bottom.
Little bottom.
Bottom bitch.
Bottom bitch. How we doing, guys?
Oh, we're living the life.
I didn't even introduce ourselves. That's okay.
I am
People
not
know who the fuck
doing
we are
good.
by now. If you guys don't know who we are yet, fucking go watch another episode. Jesus. I don't want to talk about that yet. We'll get there. Don't worry. I am grieving a god awful weekend.
Can't relate.
I disappeared already. This is not going to be good for Wi-Fi.
Oh no.
So we had a full slate of games. Normally we do a rundown. Hold on, I gotta adjust my mic because I suck at prepping, even though we were here before. We're gonna do the rundown. We're gonna do it a little different today. Instead of me getting tired of listening to my voice read off the scores, we're gonna alternate. So we get a little different taste. So Thursday kicked off with Carolina.
Well, time the fuck out. Time out.
Whoa.
We're just. I have a question. We're not even start with the random question. We're gonna just jump to sports. Since when do we do that?
It's a fair point, Dave.
Because it says the T-Bone Sports Feud. You can go first. What's your question?
T-Bone Sports Feud.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying the way that we do it. It does. You know, I approve the name. My question is, if you're going to the gas station, you have 4 items.
Oh. What's
your gas station order? I'll go first because I just got mine this morning. Not this morning, this afternoon. Blue raspberry slushy.
Good choice.
Barbecue potato chips.
I'll live with it.
A Kit Kat. And either a soda or a Gatorade.
Oh man, I'm gonna sound unhealthy as a son of a bitch compared to you somehow.
How?
That wasn't even healthy in any way.
Tongue blue from the blue raspberry. There it is.
So 4 things I get when I go to the gas station if I'm going to the gas station in the morning for work. Well, luckily I go to the gas station almost every morning when I go before I hit my route for work. Yep. Generally it's always Quick Trip, but
always.
I'll do
or Speedway.
Like a Quick Trip breakfast sandwich, preferably the waffle, sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. I'll go over, get a nice. Actually, mine's going to be a lot more healthy than yours. Never mind. A good chocolate milk. Usually I only have 3 things, and then it's usually if they have a deal going on with one of their either crispy treats or cookies or whatever they have. So healthy, not healthy, still pretty bad, but it's gas station food, so I like it. Gets my morning going.
I like it.
All right. So, I don't have any Quick Trips in my area, so
So you live in Milwaukee, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Either
Quick
live
Trip
in Milwaukee or
avoids
outside of Wisconsin.
So I have Speedways in my area. I like going to Speedways, except when the gas price isn't good. But 4 favorite items from Speedway. Always get me some Tornadoes. Love the Tornadoes.
Wow, really?
Especially the cheesy pepper. Actually, only the cheesy pepper jack ones. All the meat in the Tornadoes tastes like poo. But the cheesy pepper jack Tornadoes, those things, the Hills sing. I'm seconding Davis with the chalky milk. The chalky milk is next level.
It always depends, though. It depends if you're going in the morning or for a road trip.
Oh, I'm always in the morning.
Well, I'm usually. I like stopping after work sometimes.
Right.
Oh, wait.
That's where I get the blue slushy.
The only time I don't get the chocolate milk is if Quick Trip has that root beer milk, because, God, that root beer milk is fucking fire.
Yeah, I took down a strawberry milk earlier this morning. I wanted to feel different. Wasn't good. I'm not saying it was good, but I wanted to be different.
I was so mad when they didn't have the at State Fair. They didn't have the little milk thing.
I was so
because I wanted my mint milk, my root beer milk, my straw. I wanted all the milks.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
They're usually like a quarter.
Okay, so
they
Tornadoes.
They are.
Or Tornadoes, however.
Tornadoes, chocolate milk.
I've always been kind of so the other thing I get there is if I do go in the morning or like when I'm starting a road trip, you always get a nice tall cup of Speedway 100% Colombian coffee. I really like their coffee. I think their coffee.
Speedway's coffee is so ass.
It's not
especially since they switched over all of them to the new shit they do now.
Yeah.
Oh,
like I like that good.
They?
Like pour it out of the.
Now it's like bean brew. Yeah, it's like they actually grind up the beans right there.
How recent is this? Because it's actually been a long time since I've had a Speedway coffee.
I don't know. I went to one 2 days ago, and they had this new machine.
Yeah, okay.
So I think
the
it's
one
like,
by me on Layton,
yeah.
the one by the high school is like probably a month or two they've had it.
Which one? The which one? 60th and Cold Spring or Layton?
60th and Layton.
That one sucks. Cold Spring's better.
Represent. Oh yeah,
Cold Spring
100% better.
Used to work there. Represent.
Same.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you did work there.
Oh, yeah. Tornadoes, the chalky milk.
Yep.
I'm gonna pass on the coffee if they've apparently changed the recipe.
They have.
The buffalo chicken rolls. Have you guys ever had those?
Yes.
It's basically like a giant log of buffalo chicken. Really solid.
Yep.
And then does it have to be a food item? Because
No.
I usually grab some lottery tickets then.
Really?
Yeah.
You play the lotto.
I play the lotto.
I respect it.
I get some scratch offs, and one of these days maybe I'll win the lottery and I don't have to do the show with you fuckers anymore.
What do you mean? You could literally prepare everything. You could just do this full time then. What do you mean? You're welcome.
All three of us
right.
can do it full time.
Oh,
then.
Right.
No, if I win the lottery, I'm doing nothing but playing video games and watching movies for the next time.
You don't want to talk about sports anymore? That's not going to change.
Sure.
You
know what?
You'll just start watching sports
guest.
live. You'll just start watching sports live
guest
instead of talking to us.
You could buy the naming rights of this podcast.
I could.
Hey,
I could buy Kyle Davis. He could be my slave.
Whoa, going a little far now, bud.
You're right. Hey,
$750,000.
Hey.
How does that sound to you, Davis?
That's more. Hey, as you know, if he's
got to sell me
white,
his soul.
it's an indentured servant. You know, there's a difference in the history books.
Yes.
Even though they're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well,
I like the question. It was a good question.
Yeah, it is
a good question. Yep.
So moving on to sports, we have a rundown. It was a bizarre weekend of games, in my opinion. But we'll start it off. We're gonna alternate who's gonna say it. So it's gonna be me, Tyler, then T-Bone, and we'll keep going around and around until we say all the games. So starting off Thursday, it was the Panthers defeating the Texans 24-9, but unfortunately you lost a big piece in Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, it's a win and a loss for the Panthers. I mean, moving on to Tyler.
All right. So the Bills trounced the Washington football team led by Josh Allen throwing 4 touchdowns.
Let's go, baby.
And then, the Browns absolutely made the Bears look like the Cubs in a 26-6 rout. Justin Fields' debut, nothing to write home about. So not great.
Did you see the stat that he threw for like some odd yards, but with the sack yards, he only technically threw for 1 yard?
Yep.
Jesus.
Even though that's not how sacks work, but
no, I don't know who does that, but
it's not. But the way statistics are kept, it goes for the total team passing yards, which is technically what it was. So.
That was a rough game to debut Justin Fields. I know damn well that they wanted to wait at least
9 sacks. 9
sacks. Jesus. More sacks than points for the Bears. Moving on, we have what was almost the upset and the best kick in history. The Ravens defeat the Lions 19-17 on a last-second field goal. What was it, 66-yard field goal from Justin Tucker. Incredible. Lamar Jackson still proves that he is really not that good because he almost lost to the Lions. So,
who had the record before Tucker? Was it
Prater?
Prater. I think it was Prater.
I thought Prater hit like a 63 or 64 or something like that.
It's Matt Prater. Yeah.
Janikowski had it for a little bit until I think Prater hit one in Mile High.
In Denver, right?
Yeah. I think Janikowski was the one who got it over 60.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
But,
all right. The Eagles draft pick is still looking really good with the Titans beating the Colts 25-16, led by Ryan Tannehill's 3 touchdown performance. Really kind of surprising that he was able to really lead the team as a quarterback and not have to rely on Derrick Henry too much, even though he had 113 yards rushing.
I mean, did only throw for under 200 yards. So
it does look like they're starting to incorporate Julio into that system a lot more. He's not getting touchdowns still. Although, was that the game or was that last week's game where he had a touchdown, but they didn't call it a touchdown?
probably last week. Not
I think it
this
was
last
last
week,
week.
the week before.
Yeah, I was either last week or the week before.
So I don't
'cause there's
remember
only
that
been
this
3
week.
weeks.
Yeah.
Well,
It's one of
T-Bone's
those
got a
last 3
doozy.
weeks.
T-Bone's
Well,
got a doozy.
You know, and then as we all predicted, the Kansas City Chiefs fall to 1-2 on the season against someone I actually did predict to be a dark horse MVP candidate in Justin Herbert, who also threw for 4 touchdowns and looked absolutely stellar, and probably has the biggest win of his career so far, I would argue.
That's going to be Mike Williams' best game as a Charger, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat
100%.
7 122 and 2 tutties. Yeah. I mean,
that's what he should have been.
It was a good game.
It was
a good game. 30-24, Chargers take down
last
Chiefs.
year. 100% Chargers lose that game.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
One small thing from that game, Josh Gordon signed to the Kansas City Chiefs now. I mean, if you want to pick him up in fantasy, go ahead. I'm not going to. But
not a chance.
No.
We've been down this road for like 6 different times. Like he'll be suspended in 3 weeks.
So the next game up on the docket was the Saints and Patriots. Definitely not the way I thought it was going to go. There goes my internet. Saints Patriots, not as close as I thought it was going to be because Jameis Winston played like garbage last week when he puts up a magnificent game. He threw for under 200 yards and threw 5 touchdowns. Still don't know how that's possible, but the Saints defeat the Patriots 28-13. Mac Jones continues to have a very up and down season. And I mean, consistency is
does he? Is he up and down?
Didn't he have like
3 picks?
He threw 3 picks.
I mean, right. But like,
Matt Faraci says,
"Hey,
what up, guys? How we doing?
Hey,
Shout out Matt Faraci.
Oh,
congrats on winning the draft, by the way. I never got to tell you.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely won the draft. I picked your list. It was
no, he didn't. He picked my list.
No, I'm pretty sure he picked Faraci.
No,
I
he
definitely
picked my list.
I 100%
sure?
picked T-Bone.
He
100% picked T-Bone.
He said Matt's was the worst of actual. Oh, hey, you should ask him quick how he thought of he was at the Jets game in Denver, so I'm sure he loved that game. We'll get to that.
Did. I'm sorry, Matt.
We'll get to that one.
He's going through a roller coaster of emotions right now.
Of all the NFL games you could go
to. he thought.
Yeah.
Thought.
Right. I was wrong. Sorry.
Tyler, I think you got the next one because you get to stand up and talk about
Woo!
this one.
Yeah, so on the day that Eli had his number retired or he was entered into the Giants Ring of Honor, doesn't matter. The Giants have proved that they are the worst team in football by losing to one of the worst teams in football right now.
Even the worst team in the state.
17-14.
They're not even the worst team in the state.
Nah, I'd pick the Jets over the Giants.
Fuck no.
100%.
What?
100%.
No.
Fuck no.
For what?
The Jets have a rookie quarterback.
Jets
Danny
have more
Dimes is in his
potential.
3rd year and is still
Jets have
trash.
more potential than
No, they
than
don't.
The Giants. Yes,
No, that offense is far superior.
Yes,
it has far more potential than the Jets by a mile.
I'll take Saleh as a coach over Joe Judge.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking offense.
The offense of the Giants should be a lot better because you have all of those weapons. You signed Kenny Galladay.
They're 0-3. Like,
okay,
yeah, we understand that, but that doesn't mean they're the worst team. The worst team is still the Jets because they don't have the pieces yet. They're still building the pieces. New York should have done something this year. I at least predicted that they would win like 6-7 games this
at
year.
Least
it doesn't
the
look
Giants,
like they're gonna win 3.
The Jets are worse. The offensive line is the issue. If the Jets can fix that, they can turn it around. Matt, they should just call you because you could block better than any of those fuckers they have on the team now.
Well, they lost their first-round pick, right? The Mekhi Becton.
I don't think it matters. They're so bad.
I mean, he was kind of a bust.
Like at least the Giants had like Saquon, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Sharp. I said Sterling Sharp. Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Sharp.
Yeah. Like
wow.
They had like Evan Ingram. Like they have much more. Like they just have better offense. It's just Daniel Jones sucks.
I do think it's funny.
I would take Zach Wilson over Daniel Jones.
Can we talk about the fact that I was definitely wrong on this one? I said Saquon Barkley would bust for a 50-yard touchdown run in this game, and he had 51 yards and a touchdown on the game.
That's what you meant, right? That he was going to rush for more than 50 yards.
I said it wrong. I just said it wrong.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Next game, we have the game that everyone expected to go this way. The Cincinnati Bengals beating the Pittsburgh Steelers by 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow, 3 tutties, and he continues to look like the quarterback we were all promised. Jamar Chase, we'll get into it, looks like he is the best in his class wide receiver as of this point. 4 touchdowns in 3 games. Bengals looked like a good football team, and their defense didn't look terrible. You can say what you want about Ben Roethlisberger being washed, but they held a decent offense to 10 points.
So. Is that the worst interception of the year?
Yeah.
The one where it's kind of
Wentz's shovel pass interception.
I was gonna say the shovel one is pretty bad.
It looked like Ben looked at the defensive player. He was like, "Oh, this is my guy," and it looked like he threw it right to him.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Ben needs to call it quits.
We've had some bad plays.
He doesn't work out or anything during the off season.
Must be nice.
Yeah. I still say Najee Harris is looking nice. Considering he was the leading receiver in this game, 14 receptions for 102 yards.
Well, Deontay Johnson was out too, so that's
true. That's true. The next game up, I was talking shit halfway through this game to T-Bone and our chat group. And literally 5 minutes after I talked shit, they took a 2-touchdown lead.
Yeah, a lot of shit was being talked when it was 1917? 1914? Yeah, 1917, because then they scored 14 straight.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Arizona's elite. What? Oh, they're awful. What?
Kyler Murray, another day at the office, 316 yards. No touchdowns, but an interception. I'm assuming he had a rushing touchdown somewhere in there, though.
I'm pulling up the box score.
He
had one. He had one. Connor had 2.
The resurrection of A.J. Green for at least one game, 5 receptions for 112 yards. So it's good to see him start doing well.
It'll be at most 2 more.
Hey, yeah. Christian Kirk 7 for 104. Chase Edmonds 7 for 49.
I'm so happy I picked up Christian Kirk.
Hey, that's a lot. Rondale Moore, we were talking big things about him. 2 catches for 1 yard.
He also wasn't on the field for most of the plays either. He was. I listened to PFF's fantasy football podcast. They said he was out there. He only ran 14% of their routes.
Right.
So, that is incredibly low for somebody that we had very high hopes for on that aspect. But oh God, Matt, I'm sorry about this next one. Tyler, you're up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was seeing something real quick. So the Jets get shut out against the Broncos, who may be the biggest surprise of the year so far. I'll pump the brakes on them a little bit because their opponents are now 0-9. But Teddy Bridgewater looks like the quarterback to kind of just hold things together, possibly for the future. And Denver's defense still looks really good.
What's weird about Matt is Matt could have been a Broncos fan. He's from Colorado, and he chose the Jets. So, weird.
how long has he been a Jets fan? Did you guys ask him that?
As far as I know, his whole life, which is beyond me. I'm pretty sure it has to do one of his family members was, or he just wanted to go against the grain. How you chose the Eagles and stuff.
He just really likes Mark Sanchez and just kind of stuck with him. After.
Hey, Brett Favre was there for a year.
A year? that doesn't even count, did he? Oh yeah,
Brett Favre was there for one full year.
He was only there because he was only there because the Packers weren't going to let him go to Minnesota immediately after.
Yep. And then he still went there the year after.
And then he sent dick pics, and then that all happened. So
yeah, sorry, Matt.
We've all
unfortunately
been there, so.
Your team. I think your team's only scored 20 points on the season.
Yep.
They haven't scored a touchdown since week 1 in the second quarter of that game.
Zach Wilson will be better for it.
I think he'll eventually turn it around and get better. But moving on to another. I don't know if you call this a surprise, but the team is what they're doing is a surprise. T-Bone, you got this one.
Yeah, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. I still think they're offers. I don't.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Oh my God, I don't miss that. I don't miss that for Hard Knocks. But it was a very weird game. It was 14-2. And then it was like 14-5 at some point.
That was going to be the scoregami game.
Yeah, it was really weird. Derek Carr, almost 400 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Peyton Barber apparently is the lead running back with 23 carries, 111 yards, and a touchdown.
That won't last. That won't last.
Right. There's just all these mismatched pieces together.
See, I did mention for our fantasy talk last week that you should go pick up Derek Carr. I didn't think he was going to go do this week, though, against Miami.
I did pick him up. Crazy. I did pick him up in a couple leagues that I had Jameis Winston as my backup. So I dropped Winston and picked Carr up.
Smart move.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we'll talk more about we'll talk more. We got a whole topic about the Raiders, but I mean, a little bit about the Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett is basically Tua with a stronger arm and less mobility.
And more accurate.
Yeah, but
you said Jacoby's more accurate than Tua?
I would think so.
Well,
I don't think so.
He doesn't have any pocket.
I don't know if it's statistically backed up, but I feel as Brissett is more of like a poised quarterback, which means he should be more accurate. Is the way
he has been in the league 5 years longer than Tua?
Yeah,
something like that.
But I mean, they looked pretty good. Both teams looked pretty good. I'd say 1-2 for the Dolphins is a little deceptive. I feel like they're a better football team than 1-2, and I think they'll putting pieces together down the road. We had. Oh, I was about to say primetime. This was not the primetime game. The marquee game of the week, in my opinion, was Buccaneers Rams, where the Rams got on top of them early. They ended up making it more of a game late, ending 34-24 in favor of the Rams. Tom Brady throwing 432 yards and only putting up 24 points is remarkable. And can we just talk about Deshaun Jackson?
No.
Nothing?
He's good for like 1 or 2 of those a year now, and then he gets injured.
Right.
Well, usually it's good to see once in a while, though. And the fact that the man does not want to cross the goal line.
That's true. Yeah.
Quick question. Is Sony Michel the answer at running back for... No? Okay, good.
No. Daryl Henderson's just hurt. No.
Good. We're on the same page with that. What did Stafford end with?
4 touchdowns.
343 yards. Wow.
Yeah.
Insanity. Cooper Kupp. What? He's going to be Offensive Player of the Year by the end of this year at this rate.
Nice. Yep.
Remember when people said that Robert Woods was the better pick than Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, I do.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Oops.
Well, I'm not backtracking that one, but for now, I'm wrong.
You are.
Good matchup, though. I think it just solidifies that the Rams are the powerhouse in the NFC this year.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
No. I swear to God, if you say the Cardinals, I'm going to.
No, I don't know.
I don't say the Packers because he's
no. I don't know. I don't think it solidifies, but I still think Tampa is the team to beat. How many times have we seen this with Patriots teams? They go 11-5, 12-4. They lose a game to another top team in the division, and they still make it to the Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady. Nope.
I want to know when he got all these yards. If he was just consistently throwing the ball, what was their rushing yards? Couldn't have been that well.
No.
They totaled 35 yards. Yeah, they didn't do well at all.
Right.
Their leading rusher was Tom Brady.
Yep.
Jesus.
Oh, see. Guys, look at.
How many times has that happened in a game? That's what I want to know.
Guys, look at. You can see him.
I see him. And he's made his appearance.
Hello, good sir.
Hello.
All right. Is it my turn for the game?
I believe it is your turn.
All right. So the Vikings in a game that they must win. Did they play at home? I forgot.
They did play at home.
Yep. So the Vikings at home in a game they must win ended up upsetting the Seahawks, led by a great Kirk Cousins performance. And
another great
performance. Justin Jefferson performance.
Kirk Cousins has not thrown an interception yet this year.
Too.
I just want to put that out there. He hasn't thrown a pick yet somehow.
He hasn't played the Packers yet.
Still plenty of time.
I mean, three games without an interception is pretty impressive, though.
I don't know. I watch Aaron Rodgers do it for pretty much like half the season all the time, so it's not that impressive.
I walked into that one.
Yeah.
I waltzed into that one.
Yep.
Speaking of the Packers.
Speaking of, I will take this one because it's my turn. The Green Bay Packers. There's just not a lot of time. We have about like 36 seconds left. I don't know if there's enough time for me to cover this one. I just solidifies you can't leave Aaron Rodgers anytime. You Yeah, I know. You just can't leave any time for Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
I literally tweeted a friend of mine as soon as who's a 49ers fan, as soon as they scored, I said, thanks for coming out. Because I knew. We all knew. Everyone knew. What are the, like, normal leagues? What is the actual realistic, like, expectation of Green Bay to win that game after they score with 37 seconds left?
I think the probability, I read a stat somewhere, it was like 95% towards San Francisco.
And everyone felt, yeah, Aaron will do it, right?
Yep. It was the same thing in the Chargers Chiefs game. There was still like a minute or less than a minute, but it wasn't that much time, and everybody's like, Patrick Mahomes is going to drive down the field, and I'm like, you can't give these elite quarterbacks more than like 15 seconds,
right?
Because even with 15 seconds, if Rodgers is at the 40-yard line, he can bomb a Hail Mary into the end zone.
Well, and the 49ers had Green Bay by the neck. They could have ran it once,
100%.
Ran some time off, and
I'm surprised they went for the touchdown. They threw the ball for I was like, I thought Juszczyk was gonna like fall down at the 1, milk another 10, 20 seconds, and then just either run the ball in or kick the field goal, not even give Aaron the shot. Because they gave the ball not only did they give him 37 seconds, which is not a lot of time, he had no timeouts.
Correct.
So I mean, Mason Crosby hits a banger, I think 51 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, 200, almost 300 yards, I believe. 260, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones. The real star of the game was Devontae Adams, 12 catches, 132 and a touchdown.
Glad he's
really
okay,
impressive outing.
That hit
really impressive.
Did you see his quote?
No.
They said, "How are you so okay?" He goes, "I'm different." I'm like, I fucking love that.
Different.
Yeah. So yeah, Packers beat the 49ers in California 30-28.
All right, and we're done, and no other game happened this week. So
I believe there is one more that if you keep scrolling.
Don't recall.
If you guys want me to cover, I'm more than happy to cover it for you if you guys can't recall.
No, Davis, please do it. I can't listen to T-Bone talk about
it's me? Oh, it's my turn? All of a sudden music was playing in my ears, and I was really confused for a second.
Yep.
So there was this team that went to Dallas. They did not run the ball. Philadelphia lost to the Cowboys 41-21. Jalen Hurts, for some reason, threw the ball 39 times. I don't understand how it seemed like they didn't run the ball at all, and he only threw the ball 39 times.
Don't want to talk about it.
But I saw a quick stat. I'll make this quick because I know it hurts me and Tyler very much. But I was looking at a stat, and they ran designed runs only 9% of the game. 9%. And the 2 runs that you had from Miles Sanders were 24 yards and 3 yards. 24 yards, and you're just like, all right, cool. We're not going to run the ball anymore.
PFF looked through their entire database, and they were not able to find a game where some team only ran 3 times.
Insanity. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
I mean, I get it to an extent because it got to a point where you wanted to start out high flying, where you wanted to kind of, keep the pressure on Dallas, kind of keep up with them in a shootout. And then it got to the point where you fell behind and just running the ball made no sense.
Yeah,
but I mean, 3 times?
Yeah, but at no point, even in the first half, was the game that far out of hand. At halftime, it was 20-7.
Right. But it was 7-7, and they were only throwing the ball. Like when they got the ball back after the touchdown in the strip sack in the end zone for a touchdown for Philly, Dallas came down, waltzed down the field again. I'm interested to see what the time of possessions were, because it seemed like this time of possession should be absolutely ridiculous.
Not that it mattered. And Sirianni said that he actually called quite a few RPOs that Jalen Hurts just didn't hand off to Miles Sanders. So,
right, but that's not calling designed runs. That's calling designed RPOs.
Okay, well, it's still like how many of their running plays in the last few games were RPOs though? That's the issue.
It was
time of possession. 50%.
25 minutes. The Eagles had the ball.
25 minutes for Eagles, 34-58 for Dallas.
Yeah,
that's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but that actually doesn't even sound right based on how.
I mean, it's almost 10 full minutes. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We can lead this into one of our topics that we have here, and that is, what is the state of the Dallas Cowboys? We've seen them compete against the Super Bowl champions. We've seen them lay an egg against who they lay an egg against. Or no, they didn't. They have a 2-game winning streak right now, I believe. My internet's acting goofy.
They lost to Tampa.
Yeah. My internet's not working. This isn't good. You might lose me in a second. But I think Dallas is still one of those teams that they're going to be able to put up a lot of points, but they're still going to give up a lot of points. It looked bad against the Eagles because, as we've seen from the Eagles all year so far, is they are not capable of putting up points in a hurry. I think they're only averaging like 20 points a game this season. They're really not putting up points. Jalen Hurts is a really good fantasy quarterback, but like we know about a lot of running quarterbacks out there, most of them are not successful quarterbacks. They just like to put up numbers. So I still don't know what the Cowboys are. I think they are going. I'm firmly in belief that they're probably going to win the division now, because the Washington football team, which is another topic that we'll get into after this, the Washington football team looks lost. The Giants look god-awful. And, I mean, somebody has to win this division, so I think by default it's going to be Dallas. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this Dallas team can actually compete if they make it to the playoffs, or is their defense still as bad as I think it is?
Honestly, after last night, I don't know if it is just the Eagles being that bad offensively, but I didn't think the Dallas defense looked too bad. Like, they look quick. Diggs looks like a player. Like, he read Jalen Hurts like a book, read his eyes very well. Like I was actually very impressed with a few of the pieces they have on defense, and their offense looks like it hasn't lost a step, even with Prescott missing a full year. Like, I hate to say it because I hate the team to my bitter core, but like, Cowboys look good. They look like they should run away with this division at this point. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, Dak looks like he hasn't really slowed down. His injury doesn't really slow him down. Yeah. They're using Zeke and Tony Pollard equally to.
And Zeke looks good. Like,
yeah, Pollard looked good too in the runs he had.
Good.
Right, but they're using both of them, so it doesn't matter. So if you went from Zeke being the bell cow to almost like an art running back by committee, and they're both just kind of spelling each other, like, it's not great for fantasy, but it's perfectly fine for an NFL football team.
I mean, and both running backs did look phenomenal last night. Tony Pollard, I saw a stat that he's averaging like 7 yards per carry right now.
Tony Pollard's a great change of pace back for that team.
Right, he really is. Like it does look like they almost split it down the line. They had 17 carries to Tony Pollard, 17 carries to Ezekiel Elliott, 11 to Tony Pollard, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns for Zeke, and 60 yards for Tony Pollard. Both of them averaged 5.5 yards per carry. They could do whatever they wanted to do to the Eagles defense. They just could not stop them at any point in time. It never felt like they were punting the ball at any point in time. And to be honest, I don't know if they even punted the ball.
Who?
The ball. Dallas punted the ball 4 times.
4 times.
4 times, I guess. So, I mean,
I don't remember them punting 4 times.
I don't either. But, I mean, they did.
Right.
But it just seems like it. I guess watching that game, it just seemed like I feel like most of those minutes were at the end of the game where it was garbage time that the Eagles had the ball. Just like that final touchdown. Like, this game was not as close as 20 points. This game looked like, on paper, an absolute blowout. And without that strip sack in the end zone, this honestly could have been damn near a 7-41 game. The Eagles did look that bad. And I mean, to move on to our next topic, because this does have to do with both of these teams, I guess. Well, only one of these teams. Which one is it? This is actually Tyler's question. Do we have any chance of a first-year head coach getting fired this year?
Okay, so let's lay out who the first-year head coaches are. So there's Eagles coach Nick Sirianni. There's Chargers coach Brandon Staley. There's Falcons coach Arthur Smith. And I'm missing someone else.
Motor City Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell for the Lions. Who's the Houston guy? I always forget his name.
Robert Saleh.
No, okay, so Robert Saleh for the Jets.
The Houston guy.
Urban Meyer.
Here. I have the list. I literally have a list.
Go ahead.
David Culley for the Houston Texans. Nick Sirianni for the Philadelphia Eagles. Motor City Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions. Robert Saleh for the New York Jets. Arthur Smith for the Atlanta Falcons, Urban Meyer for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Brandon Staley for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. So
okay. I think they're counting first-time head coaches, correct?
Yeah, those are all first-time head
Because
coaches.
Dan Campbell technically had a head coaching job in Miami for was interim head coach for a year or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, or no, you said Dan Campbell. Never mind.
I did.
Yeah, I thought you didn't. My bad.
So I think right off the bat, you take out the coaches that have a new quarterback. So take out Robert Saleh. Take out. Oh, I would.
Nope. Urban Meyer. Bye.
No.
You
Urban
have
Meyer's
the heir
not being
apparent. You have the next Andrew Luck, the next Peyton Manning, and he ain't doing shit with it. Bye.
I am very weird about Urban Meyer because I think he's more likely to quit than get fired. Will he get fired this year?
I do
no.
too.
I don't think he'll get fired this year. I think he leaves before he gets fired.
Same thing.
The only other coach, there's a couple coaches I see on this list. Arthur Smith, possibility. You still have a really solid offense that is looking terrible. Your defense is still god awful.
I think Arthur Smith's the best option right now to be fired.
Are they a good offense?
That's what I'm saying. Arthur Smith was hired as this like offensive guru, and his offense looks like dog poo right now.
Right.
Like,
you were saying they're a solid offense. Based on what?
Based on the pieces they have, and clearly I'm wrong.
Which is what? A guy who's never
Matt
been a
Ryan,
number one...
Calvin Ridley.
Right. A guy who's never been a number one running back for a full year in Mike Davis. A guy who's never been a number one wide receiver before in his life outside of Calvin Ridley. A rookie tight end and an aging quarterback.
I don't know if it's as simple as that.
It honestly is because people would have said, "Oh, Juju's the number one." When as soon as Antonio Brown left, he proved he can't do it. Okay,
I'm gonna look at something.
Same with James Conner. Talking. Same with Big Ben. This is very similar to the Steelers' offense after AB and Le'Veon Bell left. Very similar outside of the tight end situation. They have guys at skill positions that we think should be good. Mike Davis should be serviceable. Played well in spell of Christian McCaffrey last year. Calvin Ridley should be a good talent. It was a good talent with Julio as his sidekick, or being Julio's sidekick. And Kyle Pitts hasn't really done anything that's like, yeah, he's athletic, he can catch the ball, but he hasn't had that game. So do we know they're going to put it together this year? I don't know. I don't think so.
Let's talk about that offense for a second. So Matt Ryan has 707 yards passing. He has 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, so not great. He's been sacked 7 times, which is not terrible, but it's not good at the same time.
I mean, less than twice a game. Less than twice a game. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all. So the offensive line is doing their job, or he's getting the ball out quick. Calvin Ridley is your leading receiver with 20 receptions for 175 yards. Cordell Patterson is your next in line for 13 receptions for 153 yards. And
who has
Kyle
looked
Pitt.
Quite good. For the record,
I am floored. I did not see this coming anywhere from Cordero Patterson.
I don't think anyone did. I mean, he's always been a gadget running back, wide receiver, kick returner kind of guy.
Right.
So I think personally, if any one of these first-year head coaches are going to get fired, I personally think Atlanta and Arthur Smith is going to be at the top of that list. Granted, he's coming off of a win against another team that is probably going to lose their head coach this year. And who is that? Who's the Giants head coach? Joe Judge. I think Joe Judge is gone after this year.
Right.
Especially having those many weapons there.
Okay, so you're telling me that Arthur Smith is beating the team he should beat. He beat the Giants. He should beat the Giants.
Correct.
So it didn't look good, but he beat the team he's supposed to beat.
But the Giants are like easily I think they're the worst team in football. But
I think it's the Jets.
Second worst.
Okay,
Jets or Giants, take your pick.
Yeah.
Can I flip this question? Who's the safest? And I'll give my answer right away.
It's Brandon Staley.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. The other safest who's on a losing team is David Culley. No, I don't think anybody in that organization. I don't think anybody in that organization is going to look at him and be like, "Man, you just did a terrible job." They have a shit team,
right? But I think that he's literally just the placeholder for once this whole Deshaun thing is sorted out, and if it gets sorted out in say 6 months, and he's either on the team or he's not on the team, they have clarity. they're going to want to bring in, okay, hey, Deshaun Watson, he's our guy, he's clear, whatever, he's going to be our quarterback. They're going to bring in someone else because then more high-profile coaches are going to say, hey, I want that job. I want to coach Deshaun.
But Deshaun, I don't think Deshaun Watson goes back to the Texans.
I don't either.
Asked for a trade.
I don't either.
You don't come back from that.
But I'm saying you get clarity. Say he isn't the quarterback. Well, Tyrod's not going to be the quarterback. And if you're going to bring in a new quarterback, either I don't think you're going to trust. I don't think you're trusting David Culley's opinion on who their franchise quarterback should be.
David Culley feels like an interim coach that got hired as a full-on coach
until they get clarity from the Deshaun thing. So my thing is, if this whole Deshaun situation goes longer than this year, yeah, he'll stay there. But as soon as that's figured out and they can move on from that, they're going to move on from him.
You know who else is going to get fired this year? Probably at the end of the year. They're probably going to let the whole year play out. Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, I can't wait. Bye.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
because where did he come from? Where did he come from?
Indianapolis.
OC.
He was the OC of the Colts?
Was he, or was he just a quarterback's coach?
No, he was the OC.
Oh.
I thought he was the OC.
But Frank Reich called plays, so he's one of those like.
So he was a glorified quarterback's coach.
Sure,
basically, and I mean,
whoa,
you're looking at his from the Colts perspective. Like you had Phillip Rivers. Yeah, you did a good job with Phillip Rivers, but how long? Do we know how long he was there? Was he just there for a 1-year placeholder, or was he there for a while?
No, he was a 1-year placeholder.
Okay, so I don't see, especially. I'm going to say it again, and I've said it too many times, and I said it in the chat group too many times. How do you only run the ball 3 times? How do you only design 3 plays to be ran against a defense that obviously you can't pass on? They were breaking up passes all over the place. There was pressure in his face for a good portion of that night. Like, you have to change it up at some point. You have to realize that what you're doing, if it's not working, you have to try and switch it. And I thought when they came out of halftime, I thought they would start running the ball more. Didn't do it. So I personally think this game is a big window to the future, and saying Nick Sirianni is going to be one of these rookie head coaches fired.
So here's what I'll say in defense of Nick Sirianni. Where I think he's different than someone like Arthur Smith, I don't think so, because I think Houston's going to have like a top 3 pick, and Rattler's like.
Do they have?
I don't think Rattler ends up being a first-round pick.
Do they have their draft pick?
Huh?
Do they finally have their first-round draft pick back from that Laramie Tunsil deal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure.
So what I'll say about Nick Sirianni, and something he has that I would say someone like Arthur Smith doesn't have, is like he's got that it factor where like he can like bring a locker room together. But so the Ted Lasso effect, like Nick Sirianni has the Ted Lasso effect, and ultimately it may not work. If you told me that Nick Sirianni is going to be fired at the end of the year, I wouldn't be all that surprised. But I think he at least has the ability to, given the chance, kind of bring this team back together, rely on the leaders of the team, and hopefully fix whatever issue happened in Dallas. Ultimately, I hope this is just like a burn the tape game. It was a bad game. Is it trending that way? Probably not. But I still think there's a better chance someone like Arthur Smith, who I don't think has a great relationship with players in a locker room, gets fired before a Nick Sirianni.
I think they're just giving. I think Arthur Smith is just. I think he, like I said, for my reasons of why. One of the reasons why everyone was on Atlanta's dick about their offense. I didn't see that in their offense. I thought they would be good, but Matt Ryan hasn't looked even serviceable at this point. With, like you said, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I think it's almost like toss out the guys who have a young quarterback. Toss out the guy who you're about to go draft your new franchise quarterback. Matt Ryan's probably gone after this year, not Arthur Smith. They're more likely to do a quarterback change than they are a head coaching change.
But just like with Dan Quinn before him, if you're hired to do one thing specifically and you're not good at it, like that's going to show. Like Nick Sirianni, for all his faults, like has roots in wide receivers, and the wide receivers have looked better for the Eagles.
Right, but so Arthur Smith, if we're gonna say they have good offensive pieces, which I think they have good offensive pieces, but you have a deficient quarterback, well, you're looking to get rid of him anyway. So people thought Atlanta was going to draft a quarterback more than Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, but they didn't draft a quarterback because they were sitting at 4.
But
they couldn't get one of those top 3 quarterbacks.
Right. So they're like, hey, we'll stick with Ryan for the year. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. And then we'll go get our quarterback in the next draft. So I think it's the opposite of, hey, Trevor Lawrence has looked bad, Zach Wilson's looked bad, so Salah's gone. No, I think it's Arthur Smith is here. He can build this offense once he has his quarterback. He doesn't have his quarterback. He's got an aging quarterback who can't do shit. Kind of like how Nick Sirianni kind of just managed Phillip Rivers enough. He couldn't throw the ball down the field.
So we're not getting off of this topic quite yet, but I have a random question for you guys.
Yes.
So you know how the Cleveland Browns had like 20 years of just god awful crap dumped on them? Do we think there is a team in the NFL right now who is destined to look like the Cleveland Browns for the next like 10, 15, 20 years?
Lions.
It's the Jets. The Jets have shown consistently since the Rex Ryan AFC Championship years that they are that team, not the Browns. Yeah, I mean Detroit's probably number 2, and they're probably
but you can tell. But I mean, Detroit has been fighting teams. Detroit should not have lost on Sunday.
No, they shouldn't have lost
Detroit.
the week before, honestly.
Right. So Detroit, not take away the 4th and 19 or whatever. That was bad breakdown. But the refs legitimately missed a 5-yard penalty delay of game on Baltimore that would have made the field goal 71 yards. I'm sorry. I saw the play. Justin Tucker had to bounce that motherfucker in. He doesn't make it from 71. He doesn't. They probably don't even attempt it at 71.
Nah.
So then you're saying, oh, it's a Hail Mary. Okay. We see what happened now with Justin Tucker kicking a 66-yarder. But Detroit should have won that game because they're attempting a Hail Mary, which unless you're Aaron Rodgers, you're not throwing up a Hail Mary and winning it against the Lions. And Justin Tucker's not kicking a 71-yarder. So Detroit should have, not in the sense of, oh, they were the better team. No, the refs didn't do their job and gave them more time, reset the play clock on the 4th and 19 as well, when there was no real reason for them to do it because the ball was spot. Why they reset it? I think Detroit has shown fight under Dan Campbell, and they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
Goff doesn't look as bad as everyone thought he would.
Goff is serviceable. He's just not like that next level quarterback.
Right. He everyone's gonna say, "Oh, LA won the trade." Yeah, but that doesn't mean Detroit lost it. They still got a serviceable quarterback in return. It's not like they had to go draft a rookie.
And they got all of those draft picks with it too.
Right, but no, my point is, it's not like you traded Matt Stafford for the 1.2 and went and drafted a quarterback. Goff is what, 27, 26?
He's not a year younger than Wentz, and Wentz is 28.
Okay, so he's 27. He's not that old. He could be the quarterback for the next 5 to 7 years.
Could be
theoretically. If he plays decently.
During a transitional period where you already know you're kind of not competing for a Super Bowl for the next couple years at best.
I think it's more viable that Jared Goff ends up a backup somewhere than stays in Detroit. And maybe he stays there for a couple of years, and he stays there for a long time and just turns into a role backup for somebody who they're going to draft.
Which would be fine, but if he does that when he's age 32, that's 5 years. You can build. We saw in LA. He got him to the NFC Championship game with a good team around him.
Yeah.
So I did believe LA won the trade because they got Stafford, who was the best quarterback on the market last year. And now we see what he's doing, which we'll get into that in a little bit.
Well, Goff's biggest downside has literally always been that he's like a pocket presence quarterback. He's not mobile at all. So you need a good offensive line for Jared Goff to be good. And he has one in Detroit.
Right. And what they do, they drafted we'll talk about it again. Penei Sewell looks like a generational tackle. A 10 to 12-year guy who's going to solidify one side of the line. So
I would agree with that.
I think, I know last week we almost got into who's the 3-0, 0-3 pretender legit. I think Detroit is the best looking 0-3 team.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Not after last week. I mean, Baltimore has a dynamic offense, and they only held them to 19 points.
Do you think the Lions are better than the Colts?
Yes.
I think the Lions are better than the Vikings.
Colts.
I said Vikings.
That's the other winless team that is
100%
in question.
Yes.
Here.
I know what I'm getting out of the Lions. They are more likely to shoot themselves in the foot or get bad juju on them than them actually losing the game, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
They're not going to get their ass kicked by 40 or 20 like some teams in the NFC.
Whatever.
So, you guys want to talk a little bit of fantasy?
Sure.
We'll do a little bit of fantasy talk. How'd you guys do this week for fantasy football?
Well, I got like 12 teams, so I think I went like 6-6. I won one game. Oh, yeah, one game. Actually, I can thank your Eagles. I won by 1 point because they had Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith. So thank you very much.
Yeah, how long did it take you to get that win?
Miles Sanders stayed at the exact same points for about all of the entire second half.
Yeah, because they didn't run the ball with him.
And Devontae Smith didn't catch the ball either. So
I unfortunately went 1-2 in my 3 leagues. I lost in the big money league and an up north league I have. But I was leading by 6 points going into Monday night, and I had Greg Zuerlein and he had Jalen Hurts. So for over half of that game, I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, holy crap, I might actually win. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts was like, all right, cool. I'm going to just throw up garbage time touchdowns. And Greg Zuerlein missed an extra point, and I wanted to cry. So there's that. But,
nice.
I mean, I got to look at my waiver wire because I made some big changes right now. Anybody waiver wire pickups you guys got? I think Chuba Hubbard is obviously the top one, and Peyton Barber.
Oh, you know what's really hilarious is the league that I'm 3-0 in is the league I drafted Chuba Hubbard in the 16th round.
How many rounds? How many players do you have in that team?
16.
Holy fuck! That's a lot.
I drafted Chuba Hubbard, and they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "You don't know what McCaffrey's going to look like coming off injury. He might get hurt again." And now it looks like the most genius. I texted the guy who was Christian McCaffrey. I said, "If you want him, let me know." Let me know.
I think the other big waiver wire pickup this weekend is Tim Patrick because one of their receivers went down. I think was it Sutton? Did Sutton go down for a while?
Yeah.
And Tim Patrick, Bridgewater has to throw the ball to somebody there, and I think you're going to get a lot of looks for Tim Patrick out of that.
Yeah. As for quarterback, if Carr or Cousins isn't picked up, they're at the very least worth a roster spot, whether it's for the bye week or if you drafted. I don't know who hasn't looked great this year so far. I don't know if you drafted Justin Fields and like Jameis Winston, you were going to try to like pair matchups or wait until Fields looked good. Neither of them are really working out currently. Maybe replace him with one of them. Yeah, I would say those are the 2 top quarterbacks at this point.
I have someone for drop worthy, and I mean, you shouldn't have him on your team anyway. I had you guys drop him last week. I'm going to say it again this week. Mike Gesicki, 2 tight ends I have on my list for drops. Him and Jonnu Smith, because Jonnu has gotten virtually no looks. He does not even look like he's part of their offense. So I think, because Hunter Henry has definitely turned into the number 1 guy there by far. The only time Jonnu Smith even is on the field is near the goal line, because then you have 2 big targets at the goal line. But I don't believe he has any touchdowns on the year. I think he's only got 5 catches on the year. So definitely drop Jonnu Smith if you have him on your team for whatever reason by this point, because he hasn't been doing anything unless he's just sitting as a backup role and hoping that he has a good week for your starting tight end when he's on bye week.
Yep. Tyler?
Yeah, so I'm 0 for 3. Not a good week in fantasy.
Jesus.
I probably have first priority on the waiver wire in the league I'm currently 0-3 in. So I just put in a thing for Chuba Hubbard. Hopefully I get him.
Yep. You should.
I'm definitely not happy with my running back situation in that league either. I currently have Dalvin Cook, who was injured last week. That's probably the reason I lost. James Robinson and Chase Edmonds as my running backs. So
those 2 of them had a good week. Robinson and Edmonds both had good weeks.
Yeah, well, I also have it's a non-flex league. So that team is Jalen Hurts.
Go figure.
Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas, Ravens D, and Justin Sanders. Or Jason Sanders, excuse me.
Okay.
Like,
that shouldn't be as bad as it is, but I understand why.
It's also non-PPR, which hurts. So
yeah. Which hurts the shit out of Edmonds and fucking James Robinson.
Yep.
Very true. Also, guys, anybody who's watching, if you have any fantasy questions for this upcoming week, I know we normally do this on Thursday, but by the way, big announcement. We're switching our lineup. This episode will now go 90 minutes instead of 60, and we are going to be starting a college football episode on our Thursday pod instead of doing 2 NFL shows, because I mean we can talk for hours on NFL, and that's what we're going to do on this episode. It'll generally be like 90 minutes, and then Thursday's episode will be about an hour-long college football.
Maybe some fantasy sprinkled in, because Thursday's there. Maybe a little bit at the end.
Yeah. Because it's
Corey knows,
and we do all of our episodes on Thursdays at 6:00, so you guys can get out of here in time for Thursday night football. Which I mean, it's a snoozer this week, but
also I apologize for saying to start Robbie Anderson, because that guy had 1 catch for 8 yards, so that one was on me. It was probably
you were just saying that you were pounding the table for Robbie Anderson.
I thought he was going to do it, and then DJ Moore did what DJ Moore does. Yep. So that's on me. That's definitely why I lost some of my other leagues, is because I started him. But yeah,
So, quick question: who is your fantasy god this year? For who is best player in fantasy football this year?
Cooper Kupp, baby.
I like it.
Like overall, or on the teams you have.
Not by numbers wise. Like I'm telling you, who is your favorite player for fantasy this year?
Cooper Kupp.
I would have to agree with Cooper Kupp.
I drafted him in about 7 or 8 different leagues. It's kind of hard to
not agree with Cooper Kupp. Like honestly, like I have Stafford as a quarterback in one of my leagues, and I'm really liking that right now.
That's a good
one. Yeah, I mean Diggs and McLaurin I have in 2 different leagues, and they're both kind of like on the disappointing end, which kind of makes me mad. Oh, Ed Debo.
Cisco, I'll get to your question in a second.
I love Debo.
Yeah.
So I have a dynasty league where I had, for some reason, I had 3 quarterbacks. I had Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, and Matt Stafford.
So which one?
And only a 1 quarterback like dynasty league. I traded Russell Wilson.
Smart.
I traded Russell Wilson for Deebo Samuel and a 2nd-round pick.
Oh,
it's so good.
Highway robbery, man.
It's highway robbery.
They were like, bro, you traded Russell Wilson for Deebo? I'm like, yeah, bro. I got Justin Herbert and Matt Stafford. I'm fine at quarterback. And I really think Deebo's going to break out. And then Deebo's been doing what Deebo does. And I'm like,
Davis, we do have a fantasy.
I do see that. I was just finishing what we were saying. So who should I trade for a tight end? So he needs a tight end. This is who he's trading. Jalen Waddle, Ruggs, Mike Williams, Chase Claypool. I'm going to stop right there. Chase Claypool's the answer.
No.
You don't think so?
Answer?
He's not the number 1 guy there even.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to get a lot for him. It depends on who you're going to try to get.
Yeah,
well, he's got to be looking for a backup tight end. Or Cisco, are you looking for a starting tight end or a backup tight end?
Well, why would you
if I'm him right now, I trade Mike Williams while his stock is high.
That's what I was going to say. Mike Williams just had a great game. You might want to try to pair. Mike Williams and Chase Claypool for a top 10 tight end.
I would agree with that. I'd say Mike Evans and Jalen Waddle are definitely not trade.
Gronk.
I mean, Gronk's a fine option there.
Leave your tight end alone for
at
least.
Then you might want to do either Claypool and Williams or Claypool and Gronk and try to get a top 5 tight end.
It depends. When's the bye week for the Buccaneers this year? That is
9,
also a viable question, because if it's late in the year, you might want to trade for another starting tight end, because I don't think Gronk's going to put up these numbers all year.
I want to say 9, but I don't know why I want to say that.
No, that's okay.
I wish I still had my sheet.
What you could do,
whatever weeks 11-7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Cisco, is this our league?
Oh, weird! It is 9.
Nice, Cisco. Is this the league that all 4 of us are in?
If it is, I ain't trading you shit.
I was gonna say we're not open for business. We're here.
Well, I was about to say, hold on. I would trade.
Oh yeah, hey, actually, come talk to me. Who do you want for Mike?
Let me make sure that this is the league we're talking about. Hold on, because I'm in another. Oh no, it's the league that me and him are in.
I was about to say because I'd be willing to part with Logan Thomas.
I'd be willing to part with Travis Kelce. What's up,
Cisco? Come talk to me. Come talk to me. We'll make a trade.
There you go.
Because that's our Yahoo league. Personally, I would say I would almost just trade Mike Williams, because I don't think that's sustainable. Because I still think
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But I think whoever's playing fantasy is well aware of who Mike Williams is and his inconsistency. You're not going to trade a top 12 unless they're really hurting for wide receiver depth. But if you're hurting for wide receiver and you have to try to trade for Mike Williams, yikes.
Very, very true.
I mean, I don't know. I think Mike Williams. You'd have to do like Mike Williams and Gronk and hope for a top 7 guy. But I think Gronk's like a top 7 guy. So.
But that's the issue.
Currently, yes.
Like 6 and 7 at tight end, not
There's
great.
a drop off.
Yeah,
there's a drop off.
There's
you
a
got
drop
your
off.
Darren Waller, you got your Travis
3,
Kelce,
4.
you got your Hawk.
But is Gronk and Mike Williams going to get you any of them?
I don't think so.
Well, like with those
I don't
guys,
think
he's
it
willing
gets
to
you the top
trade.
4.
Yeah, because
unless you're trading Evans and Gronk, but then who's going to take the
Williams.
2 guys from? What?
Why would you trade Evans and Gronk? Williams and Gronk.
Right, but you're not going to get much. You're not with trading Williams and Gronk. You're not going to get much better than Gronk, or at all. You're not going to get Hawk.
Abort. Do not do that.
No.
Do not do that.
No.
Do not do that.
Because you're not getting Hawk. You're not getting Kelce. You're not getting Waller. You're not getting. I mean, I guess if you favor Mark Andrews, but he hasn't been as good as he has been.
Yeah, and there's your drop off.
Right, and then you're looking at
includes like Everett, Higbee,
Everett or Higbee aren't bad options.
Henry, Hunter Henry.
They're clearly a step below.
Right. If you're not getting a top 4 tight end, like you can just.
So who's your top 4 tight ends? It's Kelce, Waller, Kittle, and Hawk.
Yeah.
That's
by
it.
By a mile.
And then there's your drop off. I'm pretty sure the drop off is pretty significant too.
And then number 1 in tier 2 is probably Andrews.
I would agree because Lamar always favors his tight ends.
So
I think Gronk is a part of that. Like next.
Why do I feel like we're missing one?
Oops, wrong one.
What are you trying to
click
on?
Thing. I clicked the wrong thing.
What are you trying to bring up here, bud?
Were
you trying to click it off?
Yeah.
So I'll just keep Gronk. Yeah, I would. I mean, unless you're gonna try to do Gronk and Mike Evans for Kittle, Hawk, Waller, or Kelce, but I don't think you need.
I think the only viable way you get that done is if it's Hawk. I think that's the only one you can get.
Yeah,
because I think the numbers for the other 3 are just so skyrocketing. Because Kittle, Kelce, and Waller are going to consistently give you 20 points. Hawk, on the other hand, he could have a bad night every once in a while. Trust me, I know. I have him in 2 of my leagues. He put up a dud this weekend, which cost me my game. God damn it.
But yeah, then you're also gonna, like I said, you're gonna have to try to find someone who would want both Buccaneers, which that's usually not something someone would look for. So,
also, all right. So, let's see. Let's go with. There's been a rumor. I guess not a rumor. Marlon Mack didn't play in the Indianapolis Colts game this past weekend because we found out today that he is probably getting traded. To where? Any ideas?
San Francisco.
Carolina?
I like Carolina. San Francisco way more than Carolina, though. I want to see what Chuba Hubbard can do first. Hubbard didn't play bad.
I don't think Marlon Mack fits that Christian McCaffrey role. He's not as good of a pass catcher. That's why Naheem Hines had such a prominent role in the Colts offense.
That's also why I think San Francisco works better because Raheem Mostert is also 30. I think he's 30.
He's older. Yeah, he's a lot older than people think he would be.
So, I mean, your starting running back's 30. Your next guy is a rookie that does not look good in Trey Sermon, which I don't even know if he's the next guy. Elijah Mitchell looked like he was the next guy, and he didn't look bad. But that offense has been predicated, and a lot of what Kyle Shanahan runs is to run the ball. That's why they have the best fullback in football in Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, so he's the only fullback in football, for me honest.
No, he's not.
Pretty much.
We literally talked about this in preseason.
Didn't Ricard have a touchdown last week?
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah. And Ricard, that dude is a man's man. That dude's like 310.
Derek Watt leading the way for Najee and being a special team stud.
Yeah, you got 2 Watts on one team.
And then you can look at the Packers. Degora and Daphne are much more fullbacks than they are tight ends. Degura's hurt, but Daphne is much more a fullback than he is a fucking tight end.
Any other teams?
That's why you have Tunyon and Lewis.
Any other teams you could throw that you could throw a hat in for this for Marlon Mack.
I think San Francisco, and I didn't think Carolina because I don't think he fits the scheme.
I disagree very wholeheartedly because
mean,
they have Najee Harris.
I mean, if Dalvin Cook's injury ends up lingering, like
Madison looks so good though.
He looked real fucking good.
He still had 100 yards rushing.
Let's see.
I'm just trying to
I mean, we've seen that.
Atlanta?
They like Mike Davis. They like Mike Davis, and they're using
like
Cordell
that
Patterson as like a Swiss knife.
Yeah.
Who?
Cordell.
I mean,
Patterson.
yeah. The thing in Minnesota is we've seen the Vikings consistently not have strong. I mean, that's where Matt Breida came from. That's where Madison came from. There was was it J.D. McKissick or no Jarrett McKinnon? Like they backed up Dalvin Cook. No, they don't run the ball anyway.
They would give them a reason to run the ball.
Miles Sanders isn't a bad running back.
I understand that, but there's got to be some reason why they're not handing him the ball.
They like Gainwell. They have Boston Scott.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm just gonna bring up the teams and
I'm trying to think of other.
I think 49ers and Carolina have to be the two front runners.
I mean, does
maybe LA?
Maybe
LA? Like maybe the Rams?
Maybe the Rams.
Well, you don't know what Henderson's
It's only a 1-year deal. He's only on a 1-year deal.
Right. You don't know what Henderson's if Darrell Henderson's injury is going to be longer than 5-6 weeks.
Baltimore?
No.
Baltimore panicked and signed every free agent running back they possibly could have.
And they're also
Miami.
Lamar.
That's the last team I can even think of.
Gaskin.
Yeah,
they have Gaskin.
I think they just have an inefficient.
Cisco's just saying teams now. I don't think he's actually knows what the question is.
Las Vegas has 3 running backs.
Yeah. They have a starting running back in Josh Jacobs, who's arguably a top 10 running back, and Peyton Barber put up ridiculous numbers last week.
And they still had Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, they still have Kenyon Drake too. It's not Vegas. I think the most sensible place to go is San Francisco.
Yeah, followed by Carolina, just because of depth.
And if you give up any more than the 3rd round pick for that, you have lost your mind.
Because
Cisco's looking to start fights now.
I guess my thing with Carolina is that could lessen the load on Chuba. Like you bring him in, he's like the 3rd down guy, the receiving kind of guy. You don't know if Chuba Hubbard's could be a 3-down running back. You didn't draft him to be that. So maybe Carolina just to make it a running back by committee, so they have 2 okay running backs there.
Is McCaffrey out for the year or
no? He's not even on IR.
Oh, okay. I mean, then Carolina doesn't make as much sense. Then I thought he was out longer.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but if you're worried about him having a nagging injury, because last year he was hurt all season, came back, got hurt again. If he gets this and he's healthy for 2 weeks and gets hurt again, McCaffrey's shown a slight thing of being injured.
Trying to make us laugh now. He's literally just trying to make us laugh now.
Okay.
So here are your 0-3 teams, and then we're gonna get to the question that's actually on the board, not the just Marlon Mack thing. Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions, New York Jets, Indianapolis Colts, New York Giants. Who's the most likely to blow it up and start trading their team? Trading players off of their team, not trade the whole team. They're not the Chicago Cubs.
Giants.
I wanted to shit on Tyler real quick, or T-Bone real quick. Wow, I couldn't get a name right to save my fucking life. Giants? Yeah. Who's the first name traded?
Who's the lineman again?
Kenny Golladay. They just signed him. I don't think they're going to trade him.
Who's that defensive lineman? Wilkerson?
Michael Strahan.
No.
He came from the Jets.
Yeah.
Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams.
Maybe James Bradbury.
Is anyone untouchable on this team?
No.
Like Saquon's not untouchable.
Saquon.
Who?
Saquon. I don't know if he's untouchable anymore.
He shouldn't be,
but I don't know if he is anymore.
He shouldn't be, but he probably is.
I think Danny Dimes gets traded before now. I think he gets traded at the deadline. Before the deadline. I think he gets traded.
This isn't the NBA. This isn't MLB. That doesn't happen in the NFL. That doesn't happen in the NFL. You don't trade your starting quarterback in week 7.
Yeah.
You gonna let Colt McCoy do it? Jeez.
I'd rather have Colt McCoy at this point.
That's okay. That's ridiculous. Like
he's not untouchable.
He doesn't look good.
It doesn't matter. He's better than Colt McCoy.
Yeah, and you also this is the NFL. This is not NBA where you trade stars at the deadline. It just doesn't happen.
So
like you said,
fine.
Marlon Mack is probably the biggest name on the market.
Fine, not at the deadline. What about at the end of the year?
No, like in the offseason, sure, maybe. But who would take him?
Somebody who wants a backup quarterback.
No, right. You don't trade for a backup quarterback. You go and sign one of the 5 guys begging groceries.
Does he start anywhere? Can he start anywhere in the league? I don't think so.
Daniel Jones.
I don't think Daniel Jones can start anywhere in the league.
After this year, not a chance.
No.
Depends how this year finishes. Which is what, like, if he pulls it together and gets this offense with decent pieces together, he'll probably stay in New York. But he's either going to not get re-signed or traded, or he's not going to get traded because no one's going to take him.
I'm just looking at these teams, and Indianapolis is not going to do anything because they think they still have a good team, which they have.
Yeah.
But we don't know what that is. We don't know what that looks like.
Ooh, here's one. Do the Jets trade Denzel Mims or some of their
receivers?
Yeah, or are they just going to try to keep everybody just to give Zach Wilson the best chance? Or do you think they trade some of their pieces to try to get draft picks?
So their receiving room is not god awful. I don't think Denzel Mims will be on this team. But their starters are Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, and Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore's a rookie.
Those three aren't going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, so
maybe Crowder retires, but
a good trade target.
Yeah, but why? I don't think anyone he's the 4th wide receiver on the fucking Jets. No one's gonna want him.
No,
I think he just gets cut.
But those
in the offseason.
I feel like not a lot of teams have like really bad receiving cores. I feel like we're in an age where there's so many good receivers in the league.
Eagles have one good wide receiver.
They have 2.
They have 1.
They have 2.
Tight ends don't count.
That's not a tight end.
Devontae Smith. Name another.
Jalen Rager.
He's
wrong,
not good, dude.
Thank
I'm
you.
an Eagles fan.
He's a second-year player.
I'm like, Wonky, back me up here. I'm giving Devontae Smith credit because he looked better than I thought he would. But Greg Ward?
I would rather have Greg Ward over
Right,
Jalen
I would have
Rager.
said Greg Ward.
Greg Ward catches balls in
I'm sorry, do you not remember Aguilar is not on the team anymore?
Unlike Aguilar.
Unlike Aguilar.
Chris Olave to the... Oh, my God. That just sounds gross.
I mean, it's realistic, though. That's
because
we're all... I mean, it's more realistic
He's
than
looked like ass. He's looked like shit this year.
I mean, who do the Jets go for in the draft right now?
O-line.
Defense.
It's O-line. O-line or defense.
And I'm gonna blanket that, just defense in general.
Their wide receiving core looks like it can be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You either have to protect Zach Wilson or get a better defense because you don't know what you have in your rookie running back either. And Michael Carter, he's shown signs of being okay, but you're not going to blow it up because of one season with a dog shit quarterback / offensive line.
To be fair, Denzel Mims just kind of came to my mind. I don't think the Jets are going to blow anything up.
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
I think it's the Giants and only the Giants.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, okay, whatever.
That's fair.
Next.
I figured I'd ask.
I could have swore there were more 0-3 teams, but I guess not.
There's only 5.
5.
No.
There are 5.
Okay.
So we're moving back to the NFC East.
Nice.
What the hell happened in Washington?
They look exactly what I said would happen. They have a good defensive line, but nothing else.
That's not true.
Like,
no, because
yes, their linebackers and corners are not good.
They haven't been playing well. That doesn't mean they're not good.
They're not good. They're not good. They have a great defensive, a truly great defensive line.
Yep.
But if they are not getting home, if you are playing a quarterback that can dink and dunk the ball rather quickly, you're going to get eaten alive, which they have been.
Kendall Fuller and Will Jackson are not bad corners.
Thank you.
I recognize one of their names, if we're being honest. And that's
William Jackson the third. Didn't he come from Cincinnati?
Did he? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think he came from Cincinnati. And they have Landon Collins, who's okay. Landon Collins isn't as great as he once was, but that's still
Landon Collins' career ended when he left the Giants, and that's saying something.
That's only because he was in a small market then.
Also, small bit of news. I mean, it's kind of breaking news. Did you fix that breaking news thing?
Oh yeah. Shoot, I think it's this one. Davis Sports Feud breaking news.
Thank you for that. Jamie Collins was released today by the Lions, which makes no sense because that is $9 million that was guaranteed. That is now dead cap for the Lions. Damn my internet. Do you think he's going to get picked up right away, or is he going to sit and just not be playing?
Nah, he'll be.
There's a reason a team like the Lions are going to cut someone for $9 million. Like,
this is true.
He must be a bad locker room guy or something. You don't do that in week 3 unless he's a problem.
That's fair.
Like they're 0-3.
Jamie Collins was the guy who was on New England and he was playing really well and that got traded to the Browns and they were like the 1-15 Browns at that point. I think.
Yeah, he talked shit to Bill Belichick. He said he wanted more money and Bill traded his ass to fucking Cleveland.
That's what you get for fucking with.
And someone on the Patriots was like, "Well, damn, I ain't ever gonna talk about my money again. I want to stay on the team." I think I saw that quote like, "Yeah, I don't talk about my money no more." After I saw what happened to Collins.
All right, so back to the topic at hand: Chase Young, Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, best defensive line in the league.
All top 3.
Top 3.
If you have a healthy Pittsburgh, I think. Just because I've seen more out of Watt than I have of Young, I think Young has the higher floor, but Watt has more proven track record, so I have to give it to them. They're more experienced.
I think Arizona has good pieces on their pass rush too.
So
Interesting.
Is Washington going to pick the defense back up? Is their defense going to look anything like they did last year? At any point in this season.
Maybe back to top 10, but not top 3.
And I think
their biggest issue is their offense isn't going to be on the field as much as it probably should have been under Ryan Fitzpatrick, so they're going to be gassed a lot of the times.
Yeah, but look at their division. They have to. I mean, yeah, you have the Cowboys who are an offensive juggernaut, but you have to play the Eagles, whose offense
can't run the ball,
who can't
by
who
choice apparently
won't run the ball, and the Giants who are putrid.
We're talking about blowing it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Cisco has his own little breaking news. Eagles lost left tackle for the rest of the season. The guy that I believe was the rugby player or the lacrosse player.
Mailata's out for the rest of the season?
Correct.
Wait, hold on. Did I just say that like you can't just say because they're back healthy, you actually have to watch them play again?
Yeah,
and
they aren't going to stay healthy.
Right. And Tyler said, well, if we're operating in what ifs and blah, blah, blah. And I said, this isn't Marvel, whatever. I believe I made that point, right?
Yeah.
I think I did. Oh,
he did.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't like wishing injuries on anyone. Not that I wish it on him, but yeah, man.
I still think Washington ends second in this division, though.
I think they could pull it together enough to win the division. It would take a hell of an effort. But for once,
yeah, Mailata's not out. He's just got a sprained MCL. He's questionable for Kansas City.
I swear I saw that he was out for the season.
I thought he was out too.
He's going on IR. Or they were talking about putting him on IR.
And I saw that he's out for the season.
Which they did not.
Interesting.
Sayamalu, the left guard, is out for the season. He's got a Liz Frank injury.
A different offensive lineman on the same.
Fault.
Oh, okay.
My fault.
Right, yeah.
Wrong one. My apologies. So
yeah, because you guys have multiple because they can't stay healthy. As
You're
my
right.
point was in the preseason.
Every freaking season.
So somehow, even though we're going for an hour and a half, we're still running out of time, which is hilarious.
This is the point of us going longer, so we can do that.
Which we can go longer. We can go longer than an hour and a half.
We said an hour and a half is the goal, but at some
we can
point,
go.
I'd like to go over an hour and a half.
We have a couple. We have a few more topics.
Yeah.
And
I
then
have
I want to get
2 days
to
off. So we can go to midnight. I don't give a fuck.
I care about that part. I want to go to bed at some point, my guy.
Have fun, guys.
So we have a division that is relatively dominant right now in the AFC. What looks dominant, and the team that's not as dominant is coming off of an appearance in the Super Bowl and is still probably favorited in that division. The AFC West, I think, is the best, has taken over NFC West duties as the best division in football.
For the new listeners, that would include the Denver Broncos at 3-0, Kansas City Chiefs at 1-2, Raiders at 2-1, 3-0,
3-0 for the Raiders.
Chargers are 2-1. My bad.
Correct.
Chargers.
So first of all, we need to pump the brakes on the Denver Broncos. They have played 3 games, and their entire and the 3 teams they played are 0-9. Like
I'm pretty sure we
Broncos
talked
are
about
still
that
the
in their
worst team in this
previews.
division.
We did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we said, hey, we think they're going to lose at least one of these games, but if they end up 3-0 or 2-1, we wouldn't be that surprised.
Okay, but they've only given up 26 points this season so far.
Against
Granted,
really
they are
bad
to really bad teams. I agree they're to bad teams, but it's still impressive to say that you've only given up 26 points, and one of those games they pitched a shutout.
Sure.
Yeah, against who?
The Jets.
Who we were literally arguing is the worst team in the NFL.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying,
and we said Denver's defense was good. Like, we still said Denver's defense was good.
So Denver gets the Ravens this week. Does that defense shut down Lamar Jackson?
I will be much more.
I think that's going to be the true litmus test.
Right. I'm going to be because I've seen Detroit just shut down Lamar Jackson.
Sure.
So I've seen it's possible. So.
And then the week after, they get another easy offense or defensive matchup, and it's the Steelers, who have looked anemic at best.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger has looked anemic. Najee Harris has looked.
Then they get to a little bit of better offensive teams with the Raiders and the Browns, and
I think it's going to be a good game. I actually do think Ravens Broncos are actually going to be a better game than people think.
Very true.
Like just fun to watch, whether it's high scoring or not. I think it's just going to be. It's going to be fun to see any. It's fun to see any defense scheme against Lamar and try to shut him down. It's always fun to try to watch the running back throw the football. It's fun.
I am very interested in this game that's coming up this weekend in this division between the Chargers and the Raiders. I think this is going to prove a lot to see what these two teams, if they're ready to take that next step and truly compete with the Kansas City Chiefs for the division, not just in one game, but for the entire division.
Okay.
I still think the Chargers are the better team, but we've been doubting the Raiders for a long time now. For as long as we've been doing this podcast, we've been doubting the Raiders, saying they're not that good of a team because they really don't have a lot of pieces.
Right.
The more you look at them perform, they have weapons on offense. They have a top 3 tight end in the league. Derek Carr looks like a capable quarterback now. And even without their starting running back, they can still put in Peyton Barber, and he still rushed for over 100 yards. This offense, both sides of the ball look pretty good for the Raiders. I still think the Chargers are the better team, though.
Okay, so currently the standings are Denver and Las Vegas on top, Chargers, Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
No one thought that. What do you think it actually ends as? Now that we're 3 games in, do you still think Kansas City walks away with this division?
No, I think they win it by 1 or 2 games.
I think the Chargers win the division.
I think I was saying
wow.
I still now because the Chargers beat Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes down to if it comes
again, and
right, so they split that. It could. I mean, nothing showed that game was a fluke. That Kansas City looked really, really bad. No, they looked good. They still put up 28 points.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers didn't get some fluky penalty like how the Lions and Ravens game went. Like, I think. I don't know. I think I don't know. I can't say. I was about to say maybe Kansas City's on the downcline, and no, I don't think that. That'd be hell of a.
I think this is classic. Patrick Mahomes had a bad game. He actually looked human for once. He threw 2 interceptions, which is unlike Patrick Mahomes. He also needs to stop doing these low-look passes because those are going to start getting picked off way more and more.
That jump pass he almost had should have been picked off too.
Correct.
He literally jumped up and he had no reason to jump. He could have just planted his feet and twisted like. His feet were planted left and he was throwing right. And then instead of just doing that, which only a handful of QBs can do, he can do it. But he jumped and it almost got picked off.
Also,
Go ahead.
I do want to point out that I did make a statement about the Chiefs. I might have said it wrong in the chat group, but I did make a statement that said if Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill don't show up, this team could be in trouble. Yes, is Patrick Mahomes one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best? Yes, he still is. But if you don't have weapons to throw the ball to, it's going to be an issue regardless. Travis Kelce still had a great game, 7 receptions, 104 yards. Tyreek Hill had 5 receptions for 56 yards, and it did not look like he was that good in this game because he wasn't getting open like he normally does.
So could this be that this is Patty Mahomes' 3rd year starting?
Yes.
Or 4th?
3rd, I believe.
Is this NFL defenses starting to just figure out how Patrick Mahomes plays?
Possibly. I still think that offensive line is great.
I still think Patty Mahomes one of the best quarterbacks. I'm not taking anything away from him, but we've seen it with Lamar Jackson. Teams are starting to figure out how he runs, when he runs, what kind of things What kind of pressure makes him run? How can you contain him? Teams have beaten him. Like, we've seen it for a tale as old as time, except with a very select few: Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Like, they all can and have been beat, but it's very, very difficult to game plan against them. I think the difference between those three and Patrick Mahomes is their football IQ is so much higher. And, I mean, Patty Mahomes self-admittedly said, I didn't know how to fucking read a defense my first year starting. I just went out there. So, is that the difference? That teams are starting to outsmart Patrick Mahomes and he can't out-athlete them, to put it weirdly? Like, I'm curious on your thoughts.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just think he's so purely great of a talent that still at least 75% of the season it's not going to matter. But when he's facing, pretty solid D coordinators, is he going to have clunkers? Like, yes, I don't think with how good Mahomes has been over his first 3 years of starting, like, I don't think he is that Aaron Rodgers level where like he'll be impossible to game plan for.
Right.
He may be figured out, but I think that what makes him stand out from a Lamar Jackson is that Mahomes is just such a pure raw talent throwing the football,
right,
that I don't think it'll matter as much as you think it will, if that makes sense.
But if he's more raw talent than he is in the brain, like, you cannot scheme against Peyton Manning because he's gonna audible out to the right play. Aaron Rodgers is going to check to something, and then he's going to check to something that the defense might know, but that means something different from him and Devontae. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. You can say whatever you want about him, but the guy wins. So I think you're right, but I'm starting to believe. I mean, this might be a hot take, and that's okay. He's more of a raw talent, how Josh Allen is, than he is the next generational Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. Thoughts?
I mean, is it fair to say that who is that talent then? Because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are at the end of their career, and Peyton Manning's retired. Like,
right?
Like who is that person in the league? Maybe that's just a dying breed.
Right. So I guess you don't
have a 30-year-old in the league that is just consistently really good. You have a lot of really young talent that is starting to come into the league that is getting really good.
And then you have the guys like Stafford. I was about to say Flacco for some reason. I don't know why I was about to say that.
Do not say Flacco.
No. But Stafford, Matt Ryan.
Is Derek Carr in that middle tier?
He's 29?
Absolutely.
He might be 30?
Carson Wentz is in that age bracket. Jared Goff is in that age bracket. I'm just trying to think of that.
Well, that's
age
high
bracket.
20s, right? That's high 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even think of 30 to 34 or 35-year-olds. Matt Ryan's towards the end. Ben Roethlisberger. And Ben Roethlisberger.
I feel
like there's a big gap.
Russell Wilson.
You got to think there was an entire year of quarterbacks from a draft that are no longer in the league. Like Andrew Luck is not in the league now. Andrew Luck, RG3. Rosen is a backup.
Wasn't that Wilson? Was that Wilson's draft?
Oh yeah, Wilson's like 30. I want to say Wilson's 30.
Yeah, so there's a handful. So I guess, but when I name Manning, Brady, and Rodgers, and it was Breeze, but now obviously Breeze is gone. Like, those were the four auto Hall of Famers. Rodgers was the most physically gifted, how Mahomes is. I don't think there's that kind of cerebral quarterback who's going to pick apart offenses like they can.
Well, no, because Patrick Mahomes it's not like Patrick Mahomes is picking apart defenses.
That's my point.
Because he has a Tyreek Hill and a Travis Kelce that is just like, oh, look.
So he's such a raw talent.
so much faster than everybody else.
And I can throw the ball 85 yards.
This is
and I think that's why I made that statement.
This is the whole reason I made my statement at the beginning of the season, before the season started, is that they're going to need more weapons, because what happens when Tyreek Hill has a bad game or gets hurt? What happens if Travis Kelce has a bad game and gets hurt?
But neither of them had a bad game. They had okay. Kelce had a good game. Hill had an okay game. Edwards-Helaire rushed for over 100 yards. Like, they still scored 28 points. But my thing is, so you go from Manning and Brady, the very cerebral pocket guys pick you apart, to an Aaron Rodgers who can do that, but has the physical attributes to do more. to now Patrick Mahomes. Do we just not have a cerebral quarterback anymore?
No, because pocket passing is a thing of the past.
Right. So I guess so does that make NFL quarterbacks now dumber than the people who came before them?
Right.
Well, I don't think dumber
because they're so physically gifted.
Is there any quarterback under the age of 26 that's a pocket passer in the NFL right now?
Mac Jones.
Successfully, I should say.
I mean, he's okay. Well,
he's looking good, but you see what I mean, though. You see what I mean, though.
Under 26.
Hell, I'll even go to like under 29.
Then you're opening it up to well, Stafford's not. Goff is. Wentz should be.
Yeah, Goff is probably the only other.
Goff is closest.
True pocket passer.
Yeah, but and none of them are like that skill set.
Jimmy
like
G.
Okay, yeah. Jimmy G's probably towards the top of that list.
Derek Carr, he doesn't really rush much.
He doesn't really rush that much. So I think
I have the teams up. I'm just going through. Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, he rushes,
but
more.
He can rush. But he is in the 27, 8, 29.
Yeah. So I think the top of that list of pocket passers under the age of 29 is probably Kirk. No, it might be Kirk Cousins or it might be Derek Carr. And we don't regard either of those two quarterbacks as top tier quarterbacks. The ones that we think of top tier quarterbacks are the quarterbacks that can run. And I just don't think there's sustainability to any of those quarterbacks, except for maybe Josh Allen because of just the build of that man.
Right. So that's my point. Is that we're no longer seeing the Tom Brady's and Peyton Manning's, and it's just more raw talent.
Yeah.
Well, I think because we're trending if you look at the research, everyone's really looking as to why there's so many quarterbacks every year now. It's because these quarterbacks are starting younger. They're in leagues, since they're 12. They're being recognized as extreme talents earlier
at 11,
on.
12, 13 years old, right?
Right. So by the time they get to college, it generally tends to be the most perfected and most trained and most physically gifted ones who are succeeding on the college level. And those are the ones who are making the transition to the NFL. There's no such thing as a 6th round pick who is, who has the body of a pumpkin coming in and just cerebrally taking over everybody in the game. It just doesn't happen anymore because maybe it's because NFL teams no longer have that patience. You saw what happened with Josh Rosen, where is there a year where hey, Tom Brady isn't that good for half a year? Do we consider moving on to Jay Cutler players who are all physically gifted but dumber than a box of rocks upstairs?
Whoa, Jay's a genius. Relax, buddy.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. We've been talking about this for quite a while. That was a really good topic. We'll have to revisit it on another episode. But who do you think is winning the AFC West? I say the Chargers.
It's still the Chiefs until I'm proven wrong.
Okay, that's fair. And that's fine. We have a couple more. Well, we have one more topic, and I want power rankings from you guys. Early MVP candidates. I think I know what T-Bone's answer is.
It's Matt Stafford's to lose right now.
I only think it's a two-headed race. I think there's 3 candidates, but I think it is a two-headed race.
Who's your second? Because I have someone you guys are gonna laugh at me for.
I'm still rolling with who I said during the preseason, and I'm still rolling with Josh Allen.
No,
I'm saying Kirk Cousins.
Oh, get the fudge
he
out
is
of
having
here.
a good earlier. Did you just say fudge? Did you just correct yourself?
Yes, I did. I tried to not swear on these.
Jesus.
I'm just saying. I mean,
he hasn't thrown an interception.
His stats are almost as good as Matt Stafford's.
Yeah, but he's going to have to start winning
everybody
games.
knows the MVP is a storyline driven.
I know.
Award.
I know. I'm just saying he needs to be at least talked about. He's put up MVP caliber numbers for the first 3 weeks. He's got to be talked about.
I think number 1 and number 2 right now are Stafford and Rodgers. They both have the numbers and the story. I think Stafford got the edge.
I think Stafford, Brady, Rodgers. Brady's numbers are better than Rodgers. He's got most touchdowns. He's got.
I think Brady's in the LeBron camp right now, where every year he qualifies for the MVP, and his story doesn't necessarily fit.
Where do you rank Kyler Murray?
4th or 5th, maybe lower.
Top 5. Yeah, top 5.
Yeah.
Well, then where do you rank? Where do you rank Josh?
If
you guys are putting him
Josh. I think Rodgers is the 4th or 5th guy with Kyler, and then Brady, Stafford.
Well,
I mean,
also, I'm going to bring up the numbers because I don't remember what the exact stat line was, but Josh Allen had a ridiculous game on Sunday.
I'm not saying he didn't.
Right, but he doesn't have the narrative behind him anymore. Like the Bills aren't like
he's not on it. He's expected to put up those numbers now.
Yeah.
Stafford, I mean, he's
always been putting up those numbers.
Yeah, but in Detroit. Now he's gotten out of the shitty situation. He's in the bright lights of LA with a better offense and a young coach
and is probably making it to the Super Bowl. At bare minimum the NFC Championship game.
All right, I'm going to give you guys guesses. Right. Who is the number one passer in the league right now? Who has the most passing yards in the league?
Probably Derek Carr.
Is it Kirk Cousins?
It's not Kirk Cousins. He's not even in the top 5.
All right.
I said my guess.
Passing.
Spoiler, T-Bone's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say Brady was my next guess.
By over 100 yards. It's by over 100 yards.
Brady's second, right?
Brady is second. But
yeah, I was like, I looked at it before.
Kyler is third with 1,005.
And then I just pulled it up, and then what? Herbert and Stafford. So
yeah.
I mean, the only real surprise to me in that list is Carr. I mean, he's leading number 1, but Brady is Brady. I mean, I thought I've been on the Kyler train. I was on Herbert and Stafford for my dark horse MVP candidates. So the
reason you think Brady is because he does lead the league in touchdown passes.
Right. And he's second in yards. So he should be in the MVP conversation for those.
Oh, 100% he should be in the conversation. Right. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the conversation, but I think what's going to hurt my pick, Josh Allen's, is that he got out of the gates so slow against Pittsburgh. Right. So he's not going to have the numbers unless he continually puts up these like 350-yard games.
Right.
But I think somebody's breaking the passing record this year anyway, so I don't think it matters.
Oh.
You have an extra game. Currently? Pat 5,000
51? Like isn't it 51 or something?
I think it's like 51.
And that's Mahomes?
No. Wasn't that Breeze?
I think it was Breeze.
Oh, Breeze.
Record passing yards season. Oh fuck! No, it's Manning.
Oh yeah, it was with Denver. It was with Denver.
Yeah,
that crazy year he had with Denver.
Well, Manning's got Breeze by 1 season, or by 1 yard. The record's 54-77. Breeze had 54-76. So someone would have to put up 5,500 yards. That is a ridiculous number.
55?
Well, 50. Well, I mean, they're at 54 or 77 right now.
Yeah, but you have an extra game, so you got to think there's 300 extra yards on these seasons now.
I mean, dude, yeah, but how many people? No one's hit over. Let me see. I'm gonna look. No one's hit 5,000 yards since 2000. Well, I guess Winston. Oh God, Winston did.
Oh yeah, Winston.
So Winston did in 19. Mahomes and Ben Roethlisberger did in 18. Mm-hmm. Since that, before that, it wasn't 2016. Throwing for 5,000 yards is not common.
No, I'm not saying it's common, but I'm saying it's more common than it was like 20 years ago. Plus, you're adding another game on top of it now. I think it's going to become more common.
Right, but my point is to break the record, you need almost 5,500 passing yards. It's hard to even get to 5,000, and you're even with the extra game, then you're at 5,300.
Sure,
it's a lot. I mean,
I agree.
I thought it was 51. No, it's. I mean, I don't know if 51 even gets you into the top 10 anymore.
No. So my last thing is power rankings, 1 through 5. Who wants to start? Nice and easy, and then we'll get out of here.
Tyler, you go. Me and Kyle were just talking a little bit. Tyler, you go.
So,
he's also chewing on a cracker.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. My bad.
Rams, Buccaneers,
Rams 1,
Buccaneers 2, Packers 3. We'll go with Who are the other 3-0 teams? I'm missing something.
Well, wait. Can we all agree that our number 1 team is the Rams?
Yeah. Right, T-Bone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 3-0
Rams,
teams.
Buccaneers, Packers.
You're 3-0. You want the 3-0 team?
In order?
Yeah, I was doing it.
Okay. Just go. Just have him go. I want to see. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm forgetting a team.
You are.
Oh, okay. So I'll go.
Rams.
Cardinals,
Rams.
then Raiders.
Okay.
All right. So I have Rams 1. I know it's going to be overreaction, and I'm going to get some flack for this, but I'm going to put Arizona 2 right now. For right now.
That's so weird. Our 1 and 2 are the same.
Imagine
that.
Imagine that.
Insane.
In the same division, nonetheless.
Oh my god.
I think the Raiders are 3, the Buccaneers are 4, and I got Buffalo at 5.
Wait a minute. You don't even have the Packers in your top 5?
They struggled out of the gate, and they barely got past San Francisco. It's good. But I also want to point out here that did you see Stephen A's top 5? He put the Cowboys in his top 5.
It's not surprising. I mean, I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised if you put the Cowboys in your top 5.
In an offensive-driven league, their offense has looked pretty elite. So,
Yeah.
I have the Rams at 1, Cardinals at 2, Bucks at 3, Raiders at 4, fuck. What did I just say? Rams, Cardinals, Bucks,
I can't
Raiders,
believe you guys have the Cardinals.
Browns.
The Browns. So no Packers.
And
in the
then
top
I
5
have Green
for
Bay
him
at
either.
6. I have Green Bay at 6.
So I'm the only one
And then
with
I swear to
Green
God,
Bay.
you must have Buffalo at 7.
Yeah, I have them above the Ravens.
Okay. So to run that back, because I only said mine once really pretty fast, I have the Rams, I have the Cardinals, I have the Raiders, the Buccaneers, and then the Buffalo Bills.
So I have the Rams, the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Cardinals, and the Raiders.
Yeah.
I really like seeing the Raiders in these top 5s.
It's really weird.
They're 3-0. You can't not put them in there.
It's also really weird. We also have to remember that we're not putting the Chargers or the Chiefs in here. And that the biggest reason why the Chiefs can't be in here is they're 1 and 2.
Chiefs are 1 and 2. Until things change, they are not a top 5 football
team
right now.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't put the Chargers in there, though.
I mean,
I feel like Packers and Chargers are around that same ranking.
Maybe.
Because I feel like the Chargers beat the most credible team. Well, I guess they lost another game this year.
Okay, but gun to your head, this team's got to beat the other. Who's winning, Chargers or Packers?
I think that's a much closer
Packers.
game than
I say
everybody thinks.
Packers.
It's
I say
Packers.
The only reason I'm going to say
Aaron
Packers is because it's the veteran
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is against Justin Herbert. It's not the team against team at that point, because I think they have comparable defenses, although I think the Chargers have a better run defense, but the secondaries are similar.
They both have decent running backs. They all have decent wide receiving core. They both have serviceable offensive lines.
Well, until Jenkins and Bakhtiari come back, I still think the Packers have a questionable offensive line, but that's just my personal thing.
I mean, they didn't do terrible. I mean, they're serviceable. Is my point.
Do we know when TJ Watt comes back?
I thought he was out for a little while.
Whenever his wiener is fixed.
On that note, thank you guys for tuning in to this longer episode. This, like I said before, these Tuesday episodes are going to be between an hour and a half and 2 hours, roughly. And the debuting this Thursday is going to be our college show. It's going to contain of myself, T-Bone, and a rotation of Corey Sparks and Keith Henschel. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties on our baseball episode last Friday, so unfortunately our Facebook friends did not get to see that.
Dang.
But if you want to check out the YouTube, Zach, Corey, and Keith put together a basebol episode as well. SoundCloud. We're SoundCloud rappers. Did you hear that Corey was talking shit about TikTok this entire the entire ending of the episode?
No.
You'll have to check it out. He was like, well, if you have TikTok, well, not like you want
I've
TikTok.
posted
And I'm like,
twice,
whoa.
so I need to step up my game. I feel
TikTok's the number one social
You
media
had a
app
lot
in the
of
world
hits
right
on that one video, though.
I know I did.
You had 600 hits on a video, and I was like,
good.
holy shit.
I know. I got to put I think we had some good conversations I can throw on there today. I think, though, there's some stuff in the beginning, and then some of that.
You definitely got to get the Patrick Mahomes conversation.
Yeah, that Patrick Mahomes, at least a 30 to a minute clip of it. Just get it out there.
So guys, Davis Sports Feud. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube for live content. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and apparently we're SoundCloud rappers still, so we're going to check us out on SoundCloud.
And we're TikTok dancers. I'll be shaking my ass at 9 o'clock every day. So
that's guaranteed 1 million views. Right there.
We're going to have to look at some analytics, and if we get X amount of like downloads or likes, T-Bone has to do like a TikTok dance or something.
Oh my god!
We should
rent a drone and you should do that stay dance.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes!
I can do that.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
I can do that one. We actually have the technical capabilities with the guys who we know, so that's
very true.
Else.
Very true. We do know quite a few tech guys.
All right.
Well, for the Davis Sports Feud, I'm Kyle. That's Tyler. That's T-Bone. I'm not even going to point because I always fuck it up.
Boom!
You guys.
I fucked it up. Right here. I pointed too far that way. It's right
here.
You
had one job, T-Bone. You had one job.
Right here.
We'll talk to you guys soon. See you Thursday for the college episode. Bye, guys.
Wesley Matthews Jr. Dodgers win! Finally! The wait is over!
What's going on, guys? And we're back with the Davis Sports Feud, and I got my buddy Corey Sparks here.
Crossed up, definitely pushed by Paul George, but everything's a push these days.
I just don't think this offense is going to work very well, especially under a defensive coach like Robert.
But I would still probably take like Najee Harris over one of the wide receivers.